everyone, I'm Jennifer with Her Data. I have my co-host with me here, Danushki, and we are episode 3 of Her Data Talks. Danushki, do you want to introduce our guest today?
Yeah, we're so excited to have Wendy Shijia with us. And Wendy is a Tableau ambassador, and we just really, really love her work and just had to have her on Her Data Talks. So thank you for joining us, Wendy.
Hi everyone. Thanks for inviting me, and I'm so happy that you like my work, and I really appreciate today's opportunity to tell you a little bit background about my work.
Awesome, thank you. And before we get started, I know with scheduling our call, there was certainly a time difference to keep in mind. So where are you located and what time are you at right now?
Okay, so I'm located in Shanghai, in
Okay,
China, and it's 9 p.m. at the moment.
Oh
so
my,
you're staying up late with us.
Oh, so are you 9 a.m. at the moment?
We're 9 a.m.
Okay,
Both of us are in Cincinnati, Ohio, in
right.
the U.S. So yeah, definitely a 12-hour difference there, but we're so excited we were able to make this work. I really appreciate it. Um, so to kick it off, we have a couple of questions.
Mhm.
Uh, I think everybody's become pretty familiar with your Escher uh, uh, visualization. And if you don't know MC Escher, you should certainly look up his work. Really incredible. Somebody that I was really fond of when I was young. But so what inspired you to create this visualization?
Okay, so that's a long story. My interest in Azure started back to my days at university. And so I first learned about Azure in an art class at uni. And the first piece of artwork I saw was ascending and descending. So
Yes.
it's a castle with a loop of stairs. And what's interesting is at the first glance, it looks like ascending stairs, but from a different angle, it looks like a descending stairs. So at that moment, I was very intrigued by the idea of impossible world. And I even bought a book to learn more about Escher. And also I learned about his most famous pieces, including some tessellations and morphing, etc. Um, and until last year, there was a exhibition in Shanghai, in Beijing. It's about Monument Valley. And in case you don't know, Monument Valley is a video puzzle game, and it's also one of Apple's best iPad games. So at that exhibition, I saw some of Asher's optical art, and it reminds me of some of those impossible worlds. And then back in August this year, when I intended to search for some idea for Iron Quest, I remember the topic of that month's Iron Quest was myth, mystery, and magic.
Yes.
So, to be honest, I know very little about myth or mystery, but about magic, I did have an idea, and that was Impossible World. So, I searched online for Asher's works and found a website called WikiArt, and I found a list of all his works, and it was 470 pieces. And what I expected to see was lots of optical art, and some of them are impossible world. However, to my surprise, after browsing through the list, I especially I saw the first half were mostly portraits, landscapes, and skulls. Lots of skulls in his work. Um, only only a couple of them are tessellated patterns, which are related to what I know about Escher. So I realized one, he had many work styles, many works of different styles. What I know about Asher is only his most famous pieces. And the two, although he did optical art all his life, his most famous pieces were finished in the latter half of his life. So I'd like to show what I found to the public. The motivation behind most of my data viz is to tell other people about what I found, anything interesting or anything, something about my personal experience. So most of my data viz are very personal. And so the final outcome, which I was really happy about, is not magic at all. So it's a bit off the track. I didn't enter Iron Quest that month, but that Ashes Gallery turned out to be my most popular viz so far. So I'm really happy about that.
It's
Yeah.
so
So that's
eye-catching.
the long story.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, it's so eye-catching, not just the color choices that you made, the design choices, but being a fan of his work and loving optical illusion. What an inspiration for a visualization to begin with, the idea of tricking the mind and tricking the eye. But I think the colors itself and the design, again, the design choices really jumped out. But then the more you kind of start looking at your visualization, this is a timeline of his life that you're trying to illustrate his works, which is really an exciting take on a timeline. Which to me, just as you said, understanding the optical illusion that he's most known for, it really illustrates well just how prominent that became in his art later on in his life. So it really tells the story, I think, so well. You kind of talked a little bit about your creative process, but tell me a little bit more. So when you found the data, really, what were the steps that you took? Did you instantly have that idea in your head of where the direction you wanted to go, or what was that process for you?
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer, to look so closely. You find all the details.
Love them. I loved them.
Thank you. And back to the creative process. For this one, I had the idea. The initial idea is to showcase all of his work. I had the idea, but I don't know the form, how to show that. Then I look for data. So what I usually do is when both idea and the data are ready, I will start to sketch some draft about the layout using pen and paper. It's not always like that. So sometimes I have a intriguing topic, but cannot find enough data to support it. And other times I find detailed data set, but the topic doesn't interest me at all. So when both of these, actually this happens very often. So I would say it's very lucky to find both interesting topic and a detailed data set at the same time.
So all the stars are aligning, right?
Yeah, like this is meant to be, because I can't tell you how many visualizations I get excited about. I start and then stop because I have this idea in my head, and either the data doesn't support executing it, or it just doesn't look as grand as I thought it would once I get started. So yeah, absolutely, I can understand that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now I have about 5 or 6 ideas when I'm looking for data for each of them.
What about the data for this viz, Wendy? Was it easy to find this type of data, or did you have to do a lot of hunting?
Actually, this one is not so difficult. So I just search for Azure on Google, and I find a couple of websites. One is the official website, and one is Wikipedia, and the one I found all the data is called wikiart.org. So it has many content on it. It has lots of famous artists, and most of them has a full list of all the artworks. So I feel very lucky to find a full list of Escher's artworks. It contains the name of the artwork, the date, the year of publication, the style, and the genre. Also, each artwork has a detail page, so it has a link to the detail page. So for this one, I use Python to scrape all this data and list them in an Excel worksheet. Yeah, so
sounds like I need to learn Python.
So
yeah, that's very good motivation. And yeah, and yeah, that's for the text data. And for the images, it's super easy. I just save the web page. So there will be a folder which contains all the images I need. That's very simple. So
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, you try it next time. Yeah, so when you save a web page, there will be a web page file, and also a folder come with it. In the folder, it contains all the images and all the JavaScript or CSS files. So I used to do front-end development, so I know about it.
I totally think you have a lot to teach me, because I think everything that I've done on the web, I'm actually clicking each image and saving it. I didn't know you could do that. I really think you just changed my life. Okay, sorry.
Oh, you are very patient.
No, I get really frustrated, and that's why I'm like, forget it.
Yeah, web scraping is something that Jennifer and I are going to put our heads together and learn soon.
Yes. So I'm excited that you said that. That's a really good lead in for us, because that's our next big thing we want to tackle. So that's exciting. Cool. Okay. All right.
Cool. So, okay. So after I got the data, I used pen and paper to sketch some initial ideas. And my initial idea was to make a timeline of Escher's life and display some of his work and into a dashboard. And the dashboard would look like a wall in the gallery in a real world. That's my initial idea. So after I've got the idea, the next step is testing the idea in Tableau. So importing all the data into Tableau, and I play with different types of graphs. And actually the timeline worked very well, but it's hard to decide which piece of work I display in the gallery. And I also find it difficult to show all the works at the same time, because if I display all the 470 images, they will be very small images, and at first glance it will be overwhelming, I imagine. So I changed the type. At the beginning I use shapes, so that's how I display images. So I changed the shape to, I think I changed it to circles, and use some colors for each style. And I find that I use one circle to represent one artwork, and it makes the dashboard look very fun and clean. So I asked myself, is it possible to make this chart tailored for this topic and this data? And so that's why I decided to take a step further and go back to internet and search for some form of tessellation. Yeah. And at the same time, I need to make sure I can draw them in the dashboard. Yeah, so I decided to draw polygons in the dashboard, but it can't be too complicated and they should not overlap each other. Otherwise, there will be some problem for the readers. So I actually had some experience drawing things in dashboard. Previously, I've drawn curves on maps or trails on maps or some random shapes in the dashboard. And the ideas behind them are same. The idea is to calculate the coordinates. So it's not a new idea, and I managed to find a form of tessellation which is simple, and then calculated all the coordinates using some basic geometry formulas.
Oh, wow. Here we thought you were using polygons or something, but you calculated the X and Y coordinates for each of the shapes?
Yes,
But you are using polygons, right?
Yeah. Yes, I use polygon. And,
oh, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
yeah,
definitely.
I find polygons are very versatile. I heard early in my database journey that the dashboard is a canvas, and with using coordinates, I can draw polygons, anything basically.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Like just looking at it, it is an optical illusion, and I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that on Tableau the way that you have. So it's just so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when I finished it, I was surprised too.
You're like, what?
That's the best feeling.
Yeah, because I don't know how it would like with the real data. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah. I love it when I love creating things that other people love, but I get even more excited when I create something that I love, right? Because of the things that I create, I'm really only really passionate about a handful of them. But oh my gosh, that really it checked every box. I was able to execute everything I wanted. I'm really proud of that. So that's awesome. I think you kind of talked to us already about some of the tools that you use besides Python with the data. Any other tools that you use to create this visualization?
I think for this one, it's that's it. For the data, yes, I just use Python and save web page from website.
Yeah,
and
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, and as for the after I publish, oh no, that's not after. So as I've mentioned, I used to do front-end web development, so I care about the performance very much. And so there are tools I often use to minify the images, and which is called Tiny PNG. It's a website, Tiny PNG. It will minify PNG and JPG for about at least 50%.
Oh wow!
And the file size. Yes. So for this one, I have 470 tiny. Actually, it's not tiny, like these big images. So I don't know how the Tableau Public, the performance would look like in Tableau Public. So I just upload all of them to Tiny PNG and minify them. And also for this one, that's all the tools I use. But another tool I often use is Tableau Prep. I use it to clean data, and sometimes I aggregate the data before importing into Tableau, because in that case, the viz would load faster without the unnecessary data. So that's another example. I care about the performance a lot.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, and I'll have to look up Tiny PNG. That's good. That's a good thing to know for any visualizations that are rich in images.
Yeah, either it's reaching image, either it has many images or have a large background image. In
Okay.
both cases will help the performance.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really good to know.
All right, Wendy. Well, are you ready to go into the rapid fire questions?
Yes, I'm ready.
When we say rapid, we'll take our time.
Yeah, I haven't done anything like that before.
So we're going to ask you 5 questions and you will just answer it with whatever pops into your mind first.
There's no clock, so it's okay. Just whatever comes to mind first.
Sounds good?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cool.
What is your dream job? If you could have any job in the whole world, what would it be?
Okay. So I actually think about it many years ago, and I find I'm not the only person who dream of having that job, which is working at a giant panda incubator.
That sounds like a really fun job.
Because the pandas are just so cute. And it's a protected animal, so not everyone have access to touch them.
Oh, that sounds really awesome.
Now I want to be in one of those things.
I want to hug a panda.
They actually could like apply for volunteer working and over there. Yeah,
That's
so
really
I'm
neat.
definitely going to check how that would work.
Yeah, for
Exciting.
sure.
And then you can do a viz on it.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. I'm going to take photo and videos every day, every minute, and share them on Twitter.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, next question. Who is your favorite Zen master?
Who is? So if it's not limited to one person, I would say the Flurlurch twins.
Oh man. They're pretty awesome. We're blessed that we get to work with Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, so I find both Kevin and Ken are super nice guys and super nice masters, and they not only share their knowledge generously with everyone, and also they invited me and many other authors to write guest blogs for their blog. In my experience, back in July, I back in July they invited me to write a blog post about my this it's called drawing curves on map.
Yeah.
At that time, I didn't have much experience either in writing in a second language or writing a tech tutorial. So both of them helped me with editing, and which that made me feel a lot more confident. And that blog post turned out to be a popular one.
Yeah.
So after that, I see many other authors use the technique I shared in the post, and which made me even happier than I used the technique myself. So I'm really grateful for their support.
Absolutely. It's so awesome to be able to share your knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's very rewarding after I see many curves on maps on Twitter.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, I save all of them.
That's really awesome.
All right, question 3. Who in the data visualization world, out of all the people in the data visualization world, who inspires you the most?
I think, let me check the name. I think it's the author of my favorite viz, which is Garbage in the Ocean.
Yes.
Oh, like Kasha?
Love
yes,
her.
yeah.
She's one of my
Like
favorites
Kasha.
as well.
Oh, cool.
I love it.
And
Oh my gosh, so inspiring.
Yep.
yeah,
The way she uses animation and her visualizations, it's just incredible. And what's funny is I've kind of been going through the transition of coming into the Tableau world, and I think her work was one of the first Tableau public works that I really saw beyond Danushki and Kevin, and I just thought, whoa, that's really neat. You can do that. So
yeah, it's same for me. I saw this viz at the beginning of my database journey, and it was so impressive. Because before that, I've seen only some very formal Tableau dashboards.
pie
I didn't
charts,
know.
bar charts. Yeah,
I didn't know that
I'm kidding.
it's possible to do such things in Tableau. So this piece, Garbage in Ocean, is first, it's an important topic, and second, it's the dashboard is both informative and fun to look at.
Yeah.
So for my design, that's exactly what I want to achieve in my work.
I want to be her when I grow up.
And yeah, so that's very impressive, and both the design and the techniques are very impressive. So
Absolutely.
that's my favorite piece, and Kasha is the author who inspired me most, I think.
Yeah, great
Awesome.
answers. Okay, next question. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be?
Oh, you mean go to
Mhm.
other place?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the answer is Japan.
Oh,
To be honest, I plan to visit Japan this year for the Summer Olympics. However, I need to reschedule. So hopefully next year I can travel to Tokyo. And what I want to do there is visiting galleries and visiting some small food shops and grocery stores. And I like stationery, so I definitely go to stationery stores. And I like Japan. I want to go there because there are lots of fascinating details in the design of everyday things in Japan. So I really want to see those with my own eyes.
That would be a really exciting trip.
Japan is 100% on my bucket list, and I can't wait to actually be there one day.
Girl trip. Let's go to Tokyo.
Okay, so last question.
Uh-huh.
If you could meet any celebrity, who would it be?
Oh, okay. Let me see.
I love when you are processing the question.
I think I will. All I can think are Chinese people, Chinese celebrity. Okay, so I think you might know this guy. His name is Jay Zhou. He's a singer and a composer from Taiwan. And he acted in a 2011 film. The name is The Green Hornet.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
yes, that's the Chinese guy in the film. And I actually, I like his songs very much, and he's very popular here in China. And I've listened to his songs for about 10 years. And I feel his songs are perfect as a background music when I'm doing database. So,
Oh, nice.
but I don't know why So I like to meet him and talk about some details, and hopefully I can have some inspiration from it from him.
We'll have to
That's
listen
awesome.
to his songs, Jennifer.
What's that?
We'll have to listen to some of his songs.
Yeah, I didn't know that about him because I watched Green Hornet, but now I have to watch it again and I have to pay attention to him.
Yeah.
Because I think Green Hornet, which is the main character in Green Hornet? I'm trying to remember the actors in that.
Oh my gosh. It's been a
I'm
minute.
drawing a blank. I think I was paying attention to the wrong person here, Wendy. I need to go back and watch it.
All right, Wendy. Well, thank you so much for joining us all the way from China and taking the time to explain your visualizations that inspire us. And yeah, just thanks for being so awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Thanks.
I'm looking forward to the ideas that you're currently working on. I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to look for data sets.
No pressure, but I'm waiting. We love it.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Wendy.
inviting me. Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk with you.
Awesome. And have a good night, because now it's bedtime, isn't it?
Oh yeah, not yet. Not
I go to bed early. I have 4 kids. I'm just expecting it's 10 o'clock that I should be asleep.
And to Jennifer and Dimitri, have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.